and welcome to Theater 1 Introduction to Theater. This first week, we will be looking at what are the elements of liveness, theater, and other media. In other words, what makes theater theater, what is unique about the art form. As both a theater practitioner and scholar, I look at these concepts too, and I was and still am a lighting designer and projection designer. I've lit all sorts of productions from community theater, small professional, regional theater, to highly experimental. I've also crossed genres, the style of theater, and crossed media, that is, lighting performances that cross over from theatrical to filmic and mediatized. As indicated in this week's reading, the theater has a unique relationship to the literary, to the live performer, and the audience. As a literary experience, visual experience, and oral experience, the theater continues to thrive globally and change, adapt, repeat, and even fade. I'm posting a link to a Lady Gaga concert, and I think it's interesting to think about the relationship of the audience to the performer. Is it so different than a theater performance or event? Our reading suggests that it is different, but I would like to suggest that many of the same elements are instituted that we as the audience experience at a concert as well as at a theatrical event or play performance. Our discussion number 2 actually is asking you to contemplate some of these aspects. You're supposed to write about a memorable performance, and I'd like you to unpack some of those things in terms of what made that performance memorable and what your role was. So the differences may be in terms of style or even scale. As an audience member, our phenomenological experience shapes how we understand the medium. Phenomenological simply means our awareness or conscious experience or understanding of an object, event, or surroundings. So our own body as an audience member is the interface or receptor for understanding the event. Just some of the things to think about when comparing live events. I'm suggesting that borders across genres and even across forms of live art are not so distinct anymore. Our text in chapter 1 emphasizes how diverse theater is and also delineates 2 distinct types of theater: observatory theater and participatory theater. The author, Edwin Wilson, delineates these types with the following criteria. So observatory theater is more traditional in the sense that the roles of the audience and the performers are distinct and separated, whereas Wilson points out that with participatory theater, these distinctions are broken down as audience participate as performers in the event. Other distinctions that Wilson points out are that observatory theater is more prepared, rehearsed, and possibly more aesthetic in the sense of production values. And participatory theater is more impromptu and possibly less prepared, as the roles are less distinct. While I agree generally with Wilson's assessment, I believe that there are exceptions to this criteria as theater, performance, media, events become more and more merged, hybridized, and borrow from each other. So I'd like you to also check out Beyonce's performance, and I'll post that link. Discussion 2 asks you to think about this memorable performance. So please analyze what your role was. Were you a spectator, observing? Were you a participant, a performer? Explain. In my next lecture, I will discuss the role of the imagination of the audience and why it's essential to theater. I'll also discuss the differences between realism and non-realism, which will be an ongoing theme throughout this course. All right, anyway, thank you and welcome to Introduction to Theater, and check out the different readings for this week, and I will see you soon.